Today is Wednesday, August the 2nd, 2023. It's 9:57 in the nighttime, and I'm here in the office. And I wanted to make a video. I wanted to talk about something personal, like the details of it, but then I started changing my mind because several reasons. We were supposed to go to work today, but I decided I didn't want to go on the way over, or when we were about to go. For a personal reason that I don't want to get into. And I feel bad about it, because, like I'm trying to advance our business, and get us more continuous and large amounts of income from each job that we get. And I realized that, the more time you waste, not doing jobs that you have already set up, the less time you have to go look for more jobs. I get that. And it's just hard when you're kind of afraid to get too rich or have too much money. It sounds stupid, but sometimes life is easier when you're poor, I think. Maybe not the kind of poor that's, starving and doesn't have money at all. I'm not talking about that poor. I'm just talking about, the poor that's like, you have your basic needs met, you live paycheck to paycheck, maybe you struggle a little month to month, but you have your roof over your head and the food in your belly, and that's enough to get you going. That's the kind of poor I'm talking about. Not homeless poor, living off the streets and eating out of garbage bins. It's not that kind of poor, no. Being rich would definitely be better than that kind of poor. I'm just talking about the comfortableness. I'm afraid to get too much money and have like other issues, like, and more responsibilities, because the less finances you have, the less income you have, the less responsibility you have out in the world to take care of others, and the less risk you have of something bad happening because of that money, because money brings more problems. Maybe it helps with a lot of problems too, and it can, but the way it's organized and structured now, it just brings more and more problems. It's just more money is more temptation at the ready for you to go and do whatever. More money means more responsibility to the planet. I have to really start, I'd have to really put my nonprofit together and organize it, structure it so that the income that I'm getting isn't too much, so that I'm indulging, in life without making sure that everything else is balanced. Because I honestly believe that, people wonder, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do people that pray to God and that have, all the faith in the world and that really believe in goodness and live and represent the idea of what they think that is out there in the real world, why do they suffer the most or more often, than they should? And I honestly think that's because this planet is structured in a way where we're all connected and all our decisions have a reaction, a ripple effect around with the world around us. Wherever we are in life, our decisions affect others. You walking in a grocery store, and they seem like minuscule things, but it could be something, as serious as you're walking in a grocery store and you happen to see a person walking, at the same speed and time as you, and you're gonna have to decide, am I going first, are they going first? And if you stop and say, I'm gonna let them go first, you're making a conscious choice to be. And granted, this is something that I'm not like saying, preaching here. I'm not perfect at this. I don't always do this. I often cut people off and just go because I'm like, fuck that, like I'm going. But if if I were to like stop, and be nice and let them pass, and then during those few moments that they're walking through, a child comes exiting on the other side and running into the street where cars happen to speed through because they're one of those assholes that just don't care, somebody's coming out or not in the crosswalk, they just go. And I see that child and I'm there in that vicinity where I can run and stop and grab her and stop an accident from happening, or maybe not an accident but a manslaughter. I'm that's a ripple effect in the universe. If I would have cut off, that person walked and the child would have run out, I wouldn't have been there, nobody else would have been around, she could have got hit, and that family would have lost a child, and their whole trauma dynamic would have been affected, their whole family would have been affected. It causes a ripple effect. So even though they might seem minuscule, sometimes our decisions have an effect on the world around us, especially when we decide to move and live in certain places and be in certain areas during certain times and have our energy there radiating. So I believe that if you are a good person and you do all the goodness in the world, but you refuse to acknowledge the bad, or you have a tunnel visioned philosophy about life where you just disconnect from that aspect, that real world horrible aspect of the world we live in, it's going to make its way into your bubble one way or another, and it's gonna crash your happy joy party. And that's why I honestly believe a lot of bad things happen to good people here, because it's just the ripple effect of things, of just hey, we have stuff we have to do here. We have missions we have to do here. We have to change. We have to evolve. You know, it's nice being good and taking care of your family and making sure all is well there. You have to do that regardless. That's got to be done anyways. But it's not just about that. We live in a world where we're all connected, and all of the pain that's out there that's being experienced by the human species and the world, period, the planet Earth herself, that is affecting us. Whether we are a part of that or see it directly or not, it's affecting us. So we have to make sure that we fix the bad as much as we represent the good. And with that, I'm going to sleep. Good night, and thank you for watching if you watched this far.